Raise your hand if you're having trouble recognising that we're almost halfway through the year. Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do the mid-year book freakout tag, which I know has been going around for ages and ages on Booktube. I'll pop a link to the videos that I've seen and the original link, I believe, down below so you can check them out. But it is a mid-year tag where you sort of go over what you've read so far in 2017. Oh boy, I'm having a really hard time reconciling the fact that when this video goes up, it's almost July. This has been a massive year for me. It's been a huge year at work with different roles that I've been taking on. I've moved out into my new place and I'm living by myself for the first time, and you know, I've been doing it now for nearly 5 months, and that honestly freaks me out because that's a huge thing. So this year has been massive and I can't believe that, you know, we're halfway through it, and I know the rest of the year is pretty much gonna slide downhill because it always does. It seems like as you get older, everything just goes so much quicker, even though I know that's not possible, but it's just the way it feels. I'm rambling, but let's get on with the tag. The first question is the best book you've read so far in 2017, and for that I'm going to go with Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, because this is a book that I just keep thinking about. I come back to it all the time, and I marvel at Laini Taylor's use of language because she does that beautiful flowery language without being so over the top that it's off-putting. And I mean, this was just such an engaging story for me. And I know it wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but I just loved this world and the story that Laini Taylor wove through it, and I love it. The second question is the best sequel you have read so far in 2017, and for me that was A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the concluding book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, and this was just magnificent. I loved the way that it wrapped up the story. I loved the conclusion for all the characters. I loved that not everything was so easy, and it was just so well done. I love all of these characters. I love this world. I'm so sad that it's over, but I'm so satisfied that it had a really good conclusion. The third question is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you really want to, and for me that is When Dimple Met Rishi, because I'm in the serious need for some light-hearted contemporary stuff after all the sci-fi books I've been reading in June. And this just sounds really fun, and everyone's had really positive things to say about it, so I'm looking forward to picking it up. The next question is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and honestly, I don't know all that many books that are coming out later in the year. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas, which is the Kale story, and I can't say that that's one I'm dying to read, but it is one that I'm really interested to see because I really liked Kale as a character, and I know that's an unpopular opinion at the moment on Booktube for some people, and I was just really disappointed with the way his character was treated, because it felt like in the first two books in the Throne of Glass series his character was really, really good, and then it just felt like he got shoved out of the way because the author changed her mind about the direction and the relationship that she wanted her main character to have, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know, I think his character really took a massive beating and it wasn't necessary. So I'm curious to see how Tower of Dawn plays out and how Kale is treated in it, because I really like him as a character and I would really like to see that show through in its own way. So we'll see. The most disappointing read for me in 2017 was The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I had really high hopes for it because lots of people have said really good things about it, and it just fell flat for me. The next question is your biggest surprise, and for me that was Released by Patrick Ness, because I'm not the biggest Patrick Ness fan, and I say that having only read one other book of his, but I really didn't enjoy that particular book. But I received Release as an ARC and then a finished copy in a subscription box, and I really loved this story. So this was a really good surprise for me, and I'm so glad that I read it, and I've now got one other Patrick Ness book on my shelf to read, so I'm going to give him another shot. The next question is a favourite new author or new to you author, and for me that was A.S. King, and she's been writing for years and years, but I had no idea that her work was even out there because most of it is not published in Australia, I believe. But this is her new release, Still Life with Tornado, and this was incredible, and I absolutely loved her writing style. I loved having the opportunity to meet her and have a really brief chat with her, and she was lovely and funny and real and authentic, and I'm going to be trying to read some of her other books because this was just great. I loved this book and I loved the writing style in it. The next question is newest fictional crush, and to be perfectly honest, I don't really crush on fictional characters in books as much. I do it a little bit more in TV shows, but not so much in books. If I had to, I'd probably go with Kel from the Shades of Magic trilogy, and I'm going to also tie this in with the next question, which is favourite fictional character. So I'm just going to tie them together and go that I really, really liked Kel. I thought he was complicated and flawed and ultimately trying to do the right thing, and that's the sort of thing that you want in a character. So he's definitely my favourite new character. Does that mean he's a fictional crush? I don't really know, but he's my precious baby and I would just like more books with him. The next question is a book that made you cry, and for this I have two answers. Both of them are Love Oz YA books, and the first one is The Bone Sparrow by Zana Fralin, which is about a boy who is born in a detention centre here in Australia, and A Shadow's Breath by Nicole Hayes, which is about Tessa and Nick who've become trapped in a car accident and they're left stranded in the wilderness. It's not often that books make me cry, but both of these books did, and they're both really fantastic and I highly recommend that you pick them up. Next question is books that made you happy, or a book that made you happy, but I've actually got three of them. So the first one is Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde, also Love Oz YA, and fabulous. Absolutely adored this book, highly recommend it to everyone. Plus, how can this cover not make you feel happy? It is bright pink, but the story is also very happy as well. The other two books that made me happy were Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda and The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. Both books are set in the same universe and they're both young adult contemporary books, just like Queens of Geek, and they were just delightful and fun. They're designed to leave you with feeling positive at the end of them, so highly recommend these. Favourite book to film adaptation that you've seen this year? So I can go with the obvious answer, Wonder Woman, because that was just amazing, but I'm actually going to go with Arrival by Ted Chiang because the Arrival film was just amazing, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you go out and watch it. It is just incredibly beautiful. It is science fiction, but it is thinking science fiction, and it is character driven and wonderful, and it is a really, really wonderful adaptation of this short story, The Story of Your Life. And just because I want to add more books to this collection, I'm going to say that my favourite book to TV adaptation is Leviathan Wakes, although I did read it in the wrong order. I saw the TV show first, but I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the world that's been built up in the TV show. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. The next question is the most beautiful book that you have bought so far this year or received, and quite frankly I've picked up so many beautiful books that it's sort of hard to choose one, so I've actually gone with 4. I'm not going to talk too much about them, but you know, here we go. The first one is Begin and Begin, a Love Oz YA anthology, which was edited by Danielle Binks and written by multiple authors. It is a short story collection by fabulous Australian young adult authors, so definitely check it out. It has the most gorgeous cover. There's also Yellow by Megan Jacobson because this cover is just stunning and I love it to pieces. It's no secret that I love the Caraval covers. I've been talking about them for ages. All of the editions are gorgeous. This one in particular because it has the beautiful gold foiling detail underneath. Say what you will about the book, but it is beautifully designed and absolutely gorgeous to look at. And of course the UK hardcover edition of Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor with the blue edged pages and this cover, which is, oh my goodness, it just delights me so much. And the last question is, what books do you have to read in the next half of the year? And it is essentially all of these. Do I have any particular books that I'm trying to get to? I do have Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab that I really, really want to get to soon because V.E. Schwab. And I also have a couple of books from the Children's Book Council Awards for this year that I want to get to in the next month or so. But beyond that, everything else is just when I get to it, I'll get to it, but I do want to read everything that's behind me. So that is it. That is the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm pretty happy with my reading year so far. I'm keeping you guys updated with my stats in my weekly wrap-ups, so you guys can check those out. Have you done the mid-year book freakout tag? Let me know in the comments. Leave links to your channels or your blog posts if you have, because I'd love to check them out. I hope that wherever you are in the world you're having a wonderful day. If you'd like to continue your conversation with me, please do so in the comments or on my social media links, which you can find down below. And I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.